Hey everybody, and welcome back to Uncommon Nonsense with Collin Payne. There's many podcasts like it, but this one is mine. And today is a very special episode. It is our third episode today. In our previous session, we recorded my previous two, but today I have with me Derek, again, my good friend.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Good to see you again.
And I have my parents joining me on the microphone.
Hello.
So, it's gonna be a pretty interesting one. I got some fun topics
Welcome,
to bring
guys.
up with you guys.
Welcome to the studio.
Yes,
Thank you.
first time on the mics. You guys excited?
Very excited.
That's good. It's good. It's gonna be a good time. I wonder what he's got planned for us today.
So, I got a couple fun topics just because I know personally that you guys, and this is a recent development.
Okay.
Fairly recent, but you guys recently have gotten really into the whole Bigfoot debate on whether or not he's out there. And
From what I've heard, it's not a debate for you guys. It is a when and where. It is no longer a conversation.
it's a solid fact. He's out there,
He
and we're gonna
exists.
fucking find him.
He's real.
Recently, it wasn't that long ago, we did a little bit of a test session. It was me, Derek, and Emily. So far it's not out anywhere, but it could be eventually. Maybe if I set up like a Patreon thing, if I ever get that worked out, that might be like a little sneak peek episode that you can listen to. But on that episode, we talked extensively about Bigfoot, which was not planned. I did not.
Nope. Sporadic Bigfoot insertion.
Yeah. And the whole time I was like, man, I wish my fucking parents
You
were
can
here.
laugh out loud. It's okay.
Yeah.
Funny. Sporadic Bigfoot.
That's the name of this episode. Sporadic Bigfoot
Sporadic
I
insertion.
like that.
Insertion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's a good title. That'll work. But yeah, so you guys watch a lot of stuff about Bigfoot, and you're constantly, you guys have matching shirts, constantly talking about the squatching. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Where did the Bigfoot come from?
He's everywhere. No, I don't know. Just watching it on television and got interested. We've always been like hikers, outdoorsy, going outside in the woods.
And sometimes you see some things in the woods, just like rocks stacked up that, maybe somebody did, or maybe Bigfoot left.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little
He's a
sign.
rock stacking hobbyist.
A
Yeah.
pile of sticks, maybe.
Well, you got to find something to do when
Right.
you're just walking around
I'm
the
sure
woods.
the
Right.
woods are boring day in and day out
For sure.
for all eternity.
You can only look at the same creek so many times, you start to lose your mind. You're like, man, I got to change it up around here. There needs to be like a rock stack. Kind of add the feng shui.
Yeah. Aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, heck yeah. So,
That's ammunition, though, that they're stacking them up so they can throw them at you.
so it's like a
According to legend,
it's like a battle stockpile.
Yes.
Battle station.
those are their
Oh.
weapons.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So if
So why aesthetically stack them and not just because like when you pick one up, the whole thing could topple and then they're not close by anymore. Why not just like or maybe I'm thinking the actual human hobby of rock stacking and not just
Right.
convenient piles of rocks.
Exactly.
And
Okay,
you're-
so they
you're just
are
too
just
used to having
convenient piles of
pockets.
rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
or-
just creating like weapon arsenals for
What if-
fellow Bigfoot.
What
Just
if-
weapons caches.
Yes, exactly.
hear me out. What if they've gotten so good at picking up entire stacks of rocks at a time with their big Bigfoot arms that they can stack up rocks like
Well, then
10
they would
high
be called big
and
hands.
then walk up and they got the big feet. They probably got big hands
I
too.
don't know, man. You look at T-Rexes.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah,
I will say
you
that
can't
the-
assume.
The little bit of pictures that we had, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
okay,
the one
yeah.
was proven to be a guy in a monkey suit, but he did have big arms. He could pick up a whole stack of rocks, I guarantee you.
Now, we mentioned this in the other episode. Did you guys see the image of the Bigfoot that was captured with memories?
Yes.
Yeah, a
Yes.
few years ago.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
There has to be female Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Big
how else
feet?
would they continue to
Yeah,
exist?
the plural. Well, that's what we got on that conversation too. Is like,
it's
you know
what
how
would the plural be? Is it Bigfoot,
the plural
like
and
deer?
the gender, like buck and doe versus
Right,
deer and yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Right.
It's
No,
weird.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Big foots, big feet, big fellows.
I think you settled on Bigfoot and big tits.
Well, it was
Yeah.
Big Rack.
Oh,
to
Big
be,
Rack,
to be
yeah.
exact, it was Big
Yeah, it
Rack.
was Big Rack.
But
Good Lord.
I mean, there's got to be a distinction.
There has to be a distinction.
So you guys are fairly certain then that he's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I think they're out there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you think they are? Like,
They're-
I mean, obviously we haven't found them, but
Well, there's a lot of areas in the United States that are just woods.
Yeah.
Acres and acres of woods that really no one has explored. And I think they're really good at hiding.
Mm-hmm. I think
So-
they're evaders.
hiding
of-
where? Do you think they hide like in the trees? Do you think they hide like underground?
Yeah,
They do.
both.
They climb trees and they go really high so that we don't see them. And they also will go in caves underground. They'll dig themselves a little hiding place.
A little hidey hole?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a little hidey hole.
That's what people find more than actual Bigfoots. Obviously, there's a lot of pictures, but then like you don't know which ones are hoaxes. But people find things in the woods that might look like a den or a
Right.
place where it lived or a place where it just slept, or a place where it eats. Like they'll find where it looks like it's been sitting on the same log and just eating animals, and there's just a bone graveyard around there. Where maybe even a family of them is just sitting there and eating.
That sounds horrifying. That sounds like what you would find walking up on a Wendigo.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that sounds terrible.
That does sound really creepy. But and the whole throwing rocks thing, like, imagine just walking in the same vein, like just walking up on a Bigfoot scene. Like you walk up on,
Like a
fucking
picnic.
exactly.
They're
It's like
just having lunch.
there's a bunch of bones on the ground. You don't see anything, and all of a sudden you get hit with a rock at 90 miles per hour, and you're
Wow.
freaking gone.
Right.
I mean, with an arm like that, imagine.
Oh, they have a throw,
The
I'm
torque.
sure. Yeah.
No thanks. I don't want to
The
imagine that. That
absolute
sounds
power.
horrifying.
Right.
Hey, man, it does sound pretty horrifying.
My
I
mind's
think
a steel trap.
so. Obviously, I'm still skeptical of the whole Bigfoot thing, but I do think that there is credence to the idea just because of how many species of animals like we're still discovering.
Right.
But if hypothetically Bigfoot, we found him, like let's say we went out on a hike, dude, and we caught him. What are you gonna do with him? What's your go-to plan for if you found Bigfoot?
I would just hope for a picture. Like we don't carry weapons or anything. Like we're not trying to kill one.
Right.
Some people would want to kill one so that, because they say that's the only way to prove it is to kill one and have, that for science to
The
explore. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
cadaver or whatever they call
Right.
it.
Right. But yeah, I just want to get a selfie with like him in the background.
Like a good, like
a
a
real
good
good, like if I
Instagram
could
post
get him
out of it.
thumbs up or something.
You get
There you go.
you get the picture, but where Bigfoot was standing, there's just a rock hurtling at you.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
right.
Yeah.
Like you
Picture.
had
got it
Right.
right,
Yeah.
right in the instant.
Right.
that, a picture with Bigfoot. I can't imagine I can't imagine a scenario where that wouldn't do well online. That would pop off.
Right.
If you manage to get a selfie with Bigfoot and post that anywhere, that's going viral for
and
sure.
then people like you could no longer deny it.
No, right?
Uh-huh.
That's
100% proof.
It'd be proof. You'd have the thumbs and everything.
honest to God, I'd just be terrified of Bigfoot's dick, like in
Oh,
a picture like
my
that.
God.
I mean, he's a wild man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
True.
just they're just slapping around his knees. Like,
yeah, and I mean, he's got to smell horrible.
oh yeah,
They said that's what they say. It's like a really horrible, musty stank that they. I mean,
Well, there was that scene in Anchorman where she was like, "Oh, it smells like Bigfoot's
Bigfoot's
dick."
dick.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's got to be bad.
Mhm.
It's
It's
got
gotta
to be
be.
bad.
I can remember when Collin was a teenager and he would refuse to shower for just a few days.
Oh,
Hey,
Probably
man.
pretty
Really
similar. Yeah.
Hey man, that's actually it. I won't deny it. I did stink as a teenager because I was just telling Emily the other day. I distinctly remember when I was hitting puberty and my sweat started to smell for the first time because I used to sweat as a kid and
You
it
told
never
us
had a
this too.
scent. Yeah. And then
You didn't think it was you.
no, I was in gym class. And
Yeah.
we were in like the locker room, and I left the locker room and I was like, man, it
What-
smells horrible.
What
in
he
there.
didn't tell you is that he liked the smell because he refused to wash it off.
See now we don't need to talk about that. That's not.
You asked for this.
That's not. I did. I absolutely did. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. I try not to get that wet in the shower.
Let's hope it stays there in the past.
But, oh yeah. Well, not sponsored, but it kind of ties back. Now, have you tried the Dr. Squatch soaps?
No, I haven't. I've seen the ads.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
It's kind of funny talking about Squatch, but they're surprisingly good. I've been using those. I've
heard they smell
those.
real manly.
Dr. Squatch, if you wanna.
I would get their beard
hit me
stuff.
Yeah, I mean they make all kinds of stuff. I use their shampoos, conditioners, and their soap bars. So if you wanna do an ad deal, dude, just shoot my way, Dr. Squatch, and we can work this out. And then you can show us where all the Bigfoots are, and maybe Dad can get his picture.
That'd be cool.
We can make everybody happy here.
There we go.
We can get a brand deal. We can get a picture.
I just want the picture.
So in the same vein, as kind of conspiracy like stuff, but I do feel like, and again, we talked about this on the beta episode as well, or whatever, but I feel like this is less of a conspiracy theory, like more and more, the whole UFO thing. I know that Dad, you've gotten really, really interested in UFOs as of late. Like, I remember driving around with you, and you were like constantly staring at the sky, like
staring into space.
What did that move? And I think I've had one specific experience with UFOs, but other than that, like everything else that I've ever seen in the sky, I've always chalked up as like, oh, it's a plane, or like
it's a bird.
It's a bird.
Superman.
It's Superman,
Superman was an alien, to be fair.
True.
So he would be a UFO. If you don't know what it is, it technically is an unidentified flying object. So,
and on your comment of not sure if it's a conspiracy theory anymore, I don't know if it can be classified as a conspiracy since the government declassified all that stuff years ago.
I agree.
Yeah, it is a factual thing that that we have these things that are too fast for us to understand and understand how they're moving, and we've got them on tape. We have pilots that have seen them, and it's a fact.
Much like Bigfoot.
So that's what.
Right back in.
It's funny that you said that because that was where I was going. What if Bigfoot's an alien?
Oh,
it's very possible. I mean, we don't know what species are here or have established residency here already. I mean, they could have been examining and watching us for years.
I have this theory that humans are aliens. Because and I explain it with back pain. The human body is not made for our gravity, and your spine constantly compresses on itself and causes major issues because of gravity. Which the Neanderthals had a curved back. Their backs their bones were bigger. They were designed for this planet, versus aliens came down and crossbred with the Neanderthals, creating Homo sapiens, creating us. But because of them, that came from a planet with lighter gravity, our bodies aren't built for the gravity here.
That's interesting.
It is.
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, if we evolved here from single-cell organisms, why would our bones not be able to take the gravity?
Right.
It's
that doesn't
simple
make
as that
sense.
for me.
I agree.
And my back hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
My back hurts.
Gravity over time is just weighing down your bones because your skeletal structure isn't meant to support this gravity.
So then you don't think Bigfoot has back problems then? Do you think Bigfoot has
I don't know.
perfect...
It depends on if Bigfoot is supposedly an evolution of Neanderthals.
So what theory do you think holds the most water then, you guys? Do you think that...
I think Bigfoot does have back pain.
He probably does.
That's why he throws
Poor
rock.
man.
It's really gross.
He's really angry about it, yeah.
He's like, "Ah, my back."
But do you think he evolved from, like, he's like the missing link or whatever, or do you guys think that he's an alien?
I just think it's another animal.
I think it's another undiscovered species.
Like
just
a primate of some
our
kind?
ocean is full of species we haven't discovered yet.
That's
Planet
true.
is too.
That's true.
And I agree with Derek. I think that there's multiple alien existences that have crossbred on planet Earth, and that's why there's such a variety of people per se, like with different gifts,
Talents,
skills.
So do you think then Bigfoots, do you think that they're like intelligent like us, like they know exactly what they're doing, or do you think that it's mostly like an animal instinct thing?
I don't think they're intelligent like us, but I think they're intelligent. I think they're just family oriented pack.
They have their own like society, so and it's obviously not like we like ours. I mean, we don't, they don't have cable television underground, or
right.
Like Bigfoot web, or they could. We don't know.
I guess the question would be the mirror test. Would it recognize itself in the mirror?
That's true, yeah.
That is the ultimate test of sentient.
You think that it would recognize
intelligence.
that it's a Bigfoot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And other Bigfoot. I know they know we exist, and they, even, they try to elude us. They don't want us to know.
Right. I would very much. I pray that in my lifetime we do find solid evidence of Bigfoot, because I think that it would be great. There's a lot of deniers, and even I still have my skepticism about it. But you know what definitely does exist?
Oh boy.
And it has for a while.
Oh boy.
The internet.
Yes.
The internet.
And we're on it right now.
We are, yeah.
And I bring this up because you guys kind of were kind of popping off in your youth. You guys were just kind of,
we did not have the internet
coming around when it wasn't actually like widely available. You guys were already like young adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have a lot of like firsthand experience with the early days of the internet that people don't talk anymore. Like they don't talk about that anymore because we've gotten a lot more convenient. You know what I mean? Like the internet has just
it's in your pocket.
Exactly. We got little computers on us all the time. It's on your wrist, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So I just wanted your kind of insights on like what was the internet like when it started?
Way back in the 1900s.
It was slow.
It was very slow.
It was on a phone line, so
you had to
it was
dial
loud.
up.
It had to be connected to a phone line.
Yeah,
I
that
remember
dial-up sound still haunts me
Me
because
too.
I caught that.
Yeah,
Or when
I
you
remember
would
that.
go through it all to get the busy signal. Oh, come on,
Somebody
man.
picks up the phone while you're
Or get
connecting.
connected.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Basically, it was awful.
Yeah.
Really.
Terrible.
Truly would not recommend.
No.
No, and honestly, it's funny because when it first became a thing, people swore up and down that it was going to fail, that it would not be used. The internet was not going to be like a thing. And now you can't get a job without the internet.
Very true.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it was created by this like pseudo paramilitary tech company. It starts with a D. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But it was created as a military resource, and then it was commercialized, and that was the birth of the internet. But I think it was I can't remember, but it was this weird paramilitary scientific tech company that created the internet.
Damn.
Yeah.
And to think now it's cat pictures and racial slurs,
TikTok videos.
That's all it is. I mean, dude, I started a TikTok for the show just because I'm, trying to get the brand out there, but I have never even been on TikTok before I had to download it to make the account.
It's a pretty cool place.
There's a lot that you can tell people put a lot of effort into their content that they put on there, but then there's a lot that's really, really lazy.
Yeah.
And it kind of aggravates.
Didn't you have one of those pages? Low effort memes?
Yeah, but
that was the whole bit.
That was
right?
kind of the bit.
Yeah.
It was just me talking in the most monotone, like
Yeah.
I was just done with life and reciting memes. It wasn't great.
Did
but
you
I
put
think
effort
they're
into
still
your
out there.
low effort?
A little bit. I would say there was a minimal amount of effort, but it was low, but it was there.
That's great. Yeah.
But
Way to give a not so much 110%.
Way to give 25%.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
we go.
there you go. Sometimes you got to do it, dude, especially when it comes to, I mean, I was a bit younger. That was a couple years ago now, but it was TikTok. I didn't think TikTok was going to be nearly as popular because, like, I don't know if you remember, Derek. Do you remember Musical.ly?
Yeah, I remember Musical.ly.
That was not nearly. It was basically the same thing, and it was not nearly as popular.
There was one before Musical.ly as well that was the same thing. I can't remember the name of that either. That was like 2012, 2013.
Yeah. But it all came from MySpace. And I remember, Mom, you had a MySpace.
I had a MySpace.
I didn't.
You never had a MySpace?
No, I was too young. I caught like the whole social media thing at the end of MySpace, right when Facebook had just kind of began.
Before
So-
MySpace, it was a site called Zanga.
Never
Yeah.
heard of that in my life.
Zanga was the thing, and then MySpace came out, and then Facebook.
Zanga.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There'll
So
be
what was
some people that
MySpace like?
remember it.
A lot like Facebook, pretty much. I mean, just a platform to say, hey, here I am.
Would
Get a
you
hold of
argue
me.
worse or better?
It was a lot more customizable.
Right.
We're talking
yeah.
like the difference between Android and Apple,
Right.
basically.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
But just like, I mean, Apple's basically an industry standard, and Facebook overtook MySpace for the same reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then if you, do you think hypothetically, if they were to not re-release, but like if MySpace had never existed and they were to release MySpace today in like the current social media climate, do you think it would like be successful?
I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
for us elderly folk, probably yes. I think a lot of people want to even leave Facebook and go to Instagram because it's more of a, not so much of a social platform
Yeah.
in the sense that, okay, here's some pictures I like. Here's a project I'm doing. Not, oh my God, I ate at Buffalo Wild Wings last night. Tag you.
Right.
A lot of people are getting sick of that. Like, it's too much information.
Instagram is another one that I haven't used a lot of, but I do prefer it to Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the UI is a lot better.
It's the same company.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it is.
So
It
it's
is.
like it's two sides of the same coin.
It really
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, the biggest things about MySpace was that when you create an account, you had a friend, and that friend's name was Tom.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he
that's
was a
right.
friend.
Oh, my God.
He
I
He was
forgot
a
about
friend
Tom.
of
Tom from
everyone.
MySpace.
And you created an account and you saw your friends list, and Tom was always right there on top until you changed it and made more friends.
Mhm.
But Tom was a staple. You could
Yeah.
create your own custom backgrounds for your page, which was
Nice.
really cool. I made a custom background with quotes from Kung Fu Panda because this was like 2007.
Nice.
That film is baller.
Mhm. Yeah.
The second one too is arguably just as good.
I don't know if I saw that one.
That's blasphemy, dude. Kung
But
Fu
my
Panda
profile
and Kung Fu
said
Panda 2 were great.
skadoosh all over the place.
Hell yeah.
And then you get a set a song. And
Yeah,
those were the
that-
three things. You got
that was
Tom,
cool.
you got the
Mhm.
custom backgrounds, and you got to set a song
Yep.
that would play when people visited your profile.
That is
That's
true.
really cool. I remember, sorry, not to change the subject, but I do remember going to see Kung Fu Panda in the theaters with you guys.
Uh-huh.
I remember that.
Well,
I do
your
too.
parents generally take you to see movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We
I
weren't
mean,
to drop you off and good luck. See you in
Good
a
luck.
couple hours.
not until I was like 15. And then by that point, I was like, I'm going to go see movies with my friends, Mom. You know?
But
It's too
did you
cool.
really go see movies with your
Yes.
Did you?
I was a dork. We mostly played video games, and I mean, I didn't. If you're referring to like secret partying, I didn't try alcohol until I was legitimately like 19 years old, and I
He
hated
doesn't
it.
like it.
I hate it
It
still.
makes me proud.
I just there's something about. I just don't like forcing myself to drink something in order to feel fun.
I love
know?
alcohol.
Hey man, more power to you.
Yeah.
I am of the belief that you can do whatever the hell you want as long as you're not like hurting other people.
Mm-hmm.
But so no booze cruising. I know.
No booze cruising. No,
No
I
booze
can't. I
cruising,
won't
yeah.
be able to get I won't be able to have my pilot's license if I booze cruise. But I will go on a cruise with booze for
That-
sure. Yeah, but not
Ooh.
cars.
That's a
Actual
recipe
Cruises
for,
with
Yeah.
boozes
makes
is
me
different, but booze
Nauseous.
cruising
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I would
drunk
do that.
driving and illegal.
But it's funny we're talking about because in our little town, we years ago, I don't think it's like that anymore. But behind our little movie theater, there was once a seedy little village in the woods behind the movie theater. Do you remember that?
No, I was never taken to the behind the movie theater village.
So they had tents and all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a little seedy pop up village, but in the woods
Whoa.
behind the movie theater. So it's a good thing you went and saw those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Because
That's
that was
weird.
the thing that was there. Just like the guy we had a homeless guy for a little bit too that lived in the brush under the overpass, the main overpass we have in our town. Do you remember seeing him? He
I
would always
do.
be down there.
I do.
Yeah.
He once built a little footpath of stones that he had collected up into the brush to make it a little bit more welcoming, which I found incredibly endearing, to be
Yeah,
honest. It was
yeah.
a really sad situation, but he ended up getting kicked out of his little home that he built.
That's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to me. You can find all over the internet of like cities building architecture specifically for the sake of not giving homeless people places like benches. Now they're building like slanted things for you to lean on instead of like sitting down, so that homeless people can't sleep on the benches.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like highway overpasses like under them. They'll put like cement spikes so that you can't like, I don't know, like I get homelessness being an issue for the city. It makes it like look bad or whatever, but that's kind of fucked up.
What's interesting is back in, like late 1800s, during like Jack the Ripper days, when, London and all England was overwhelmed with, seedy homeless people, and they would profit off of it. They would like, hey, you can sleep here, give me a nickel.
Right.
And, nowadays it's just so taboo that we don't even want to help in any aspect. We're just like, no, out of sight, out of mind. Get them, away from this town, and don't ruin our pretty little image.
It's messed up.
It is messed up.
We even do the same thing with birds.
Yeah.
You just put spikes, bird spikes. They're called bird spikes. You can buy them. Like people, birds, everything. Everybody's getting outcasted.
Yep.
Not even the birds are safe. I mean, they might not even be real.
Is that a segue?
No, that's just
okay
some
into the government drone birds.
The government drone birds. I mean,
it is a valid conspiracy theory.
Is it? I've seen plenty of dead birds.
Arguably,
I've had plenty of birds shat on me, and it seemed pretty real.
What if they're programmed to shit?
That wasn't.
What if the birds are programmed to shit, though?
So you're saying they create mechanical birds filled with fake shit that
can die.
randomly
it's
drop?
real shit.
The shit's real. The birds are fake.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's
where's the
humanely
authenticity?
sourced shit.
That's just mean, then.
I mean, man.
I don't know. No, birds. Some birds are probably real, but
Every
the
now
drones
and
could be
then,
a thing.
1 out of
drones
every
could be a
10
thing.
bird is real. I will say though, like that whole conspiracy theory is hilarious. Like
It is.
genuinely.
It truly
But
is.
I think that there has to be at least one government-made drone that was made to look like a bird. Like,
I'm sure
I
it's been
feel
made.
like there has to
I feel like
be
they
at
have
least
to.
one.
I feel like that's a tame thing the government would do. Like they've done much worse than create
worse.
bird drones. So I'm sure it's been done.
I mean, you know what?
They're ousting homeless people.
They
Of course they made drone birds.
The government does do a lot of really messed up stuff. And you know what they're accused of doing? You know what they were accused of doing? Everything. But I've been reading into it. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that the whole JFK situation.
All right, you had to do this.
Yep.
I had to do it. Mom.
Why?
Because
Really?
for those of you
Oh Lord.
listening in, my mother, my sweet dear mother, swears to the high heaven that we are related to the late JFK and his bloodline. I've yet to see any proof, documentation, anything. But
any receipts whatsoever.
I will say that presidents are known for being somewhat of man-hoes, like not to call out any presidents, like I don't want to get myself in hot water here with the White House, but like there's been multiple presidents that have had tons of different affairs. So is it impossible? I don't know, but do I believe it? No.
Now, being related, like, being a cousin, not like your President Kennedy's secret great
yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
Don't take it that way. Like,
So like an off distant
Right.
bloodline.
yeah.
And so how long have
By
you had
way
this
of
belief?
Ireland, my whole life. I mean, that's what I've been told.
You were born and raised, they said you're a Kennedy.
They didn't say you're a Kennedy. No.
I'm just saying.
No, they said your family's from Ireland, which you well know.
Yes.
We have family still in Ireland,
Right.
and we are somehow cousins of the Kennedys. So we
Cousins
are
of cousins of cousins of the Kennedys.
Kennedys, yes.
So would you believe me if I told you that he wasn't shot and his head just did that?
I would smack you.
He had a really bad headache that day, and no one believed him.
Mr. President.
And he was riding in the car, and it just popped.
He's sorry.
They
John.
never found a gun. It was all fake. It was all planted. They had to, because he had a rare, it was called head exploding disease. So they had to cover that up.
I think you have mouth exploding disease.
I'm just, hey, what if? But I have legitimately heard there's a theory that it was like one of the dudes in the parade that actually shot him, and
I've heard that too.
The whole assassination plot was like to cover that up for the government to cover their own ass.
I have heard it was
one of the Secret Service guys.
That was hungover from partying the night before. I know that sounds insane, and he heard a noise, reacted wrongly, fired a shot, stumbled as he fired the shot, and accidentally hit our president. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. And it was covered up. Because the government doesn't.
No, never. They've never made a mistake, ever. I can't think of one. Besides, like, Agent Orange. That's a good one.
MK Ultra.
That's a good one, too.
That might have been a mistake. That kind of brought out some of the, like, 2 most prolific serial killers of U.S. history, so.
Yeah. Very true.
We could probably make a whole podcast episode about mistakes the government has made.
We could do a whole series.
We're going to audit the government. We're going to shove it right in their face.
They could be listening right now. You don't know.
Well, this is going on the internet. They're listening for sure.
Yep.
Someone's like in their little suit. You know what I mean? Sitting there like, oh.
I feel like Collin definitely has his personal FBI agent, like, always monitoring him.
He's watching me right now through my little camera.
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, you're on the watch list.
Several.
Yeah.
With all my Google searches,
probably.
Derek is too. Since we've been recording here on your Wi-Fi, dude, you're on several now too.
Collin,
welcome to the club,
let it
buddy.
be known that Collin likes to intentionally search questionable things on my Wi-Fi.
I do. Hey, man, it's the little things in life, and
every your time, IP.
Yeah. Well, every time I think of something even wackier to search up, it's like a little dopamine rush. I'm like, oh. Derek's going to pay for this.
Oh, wow. When Derek gets raided, it's all your fault, right?
When you get swatted.
Yeah.
You and your 2 children in your home.
Let's hope not.
No.
Attention, all podcast listeners. This episode of Uncommon Nonsense is sponsored by...
me. It's just me, guys. And I want to let you know, Uncommon Nonsense has a social media page on just about every platform that you can have a social media page these days. We got a Twitter, we got an Instagram, and we got a TikTok. All of those are under the name Uncommon Collin. That's Uncommon Collin. So make sure to give us a follow if you want to keep up with the podcast or just, see any kind of extra tidbits of uncommon nonsense I can throw at you. And while you're over there, make sure to give me a review. I appreciate everyone listening into the podcast, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. So you can shoot me a message, you can shoot me a tweet, whatever you want to do. But until then, here's the rest of your regularly scheduled uncommon nonsense. So the whole cybersecurity thing, though, that's recently has gotten a lot more intense just with how big the internet is. But I remember, you know what I mean, back in the day, you would get all kinds of shit through email. You know what I mean? All kinds of scams, people just sending virus, which I guess people still do, but it's harder to come by now just with how much security is on the internet,
Yeah, I read an article about this where millennials, people like our age, we know both sides, the time before the internet was big and then the time where the internet is everything. And they were comparing Gen Xers to millennials and then Gen Z, where Gen Xers generally have one email and everything goes to that email. And this is just talking about email. Millennials will have multiple emails, but Gen Zers have 4, and they have one for stuff that doesn't matter, stuff that's important, stuff that they just use for things that might be a little risky, like cyber risk.
Right.
And then there's one more that's for your personal stuff. So family, friends, and everything like that. And that's how they have it organized because that's how the internet breaks down.
I have multiple emails.
Yeah. Do you have them categorized like that? Because they do the organization. Yeah. I don't. I have multiple emails, but they're not that quite organized.
I do, but I do send the majority of things to my main email. But like,
But then that's the difference. They have 4 main emails. We have
That's
a
weird.
main email and
And
then
some side
different
emails.
ones, whereas Gen Xers generally just have like one and send everything to it
that's
Mhm.
at a
weird.
time.
Very
That's
true.
a weird distinction.
I know,
never really
right?
thought about that.
That's how it's breaking down.
But back in the day, I mean,
I've never even thought about having more than one.
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Lesson from the Gen Zers.
See?
So that's a pretty accurate study then.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a
Mhm.
Gen Zer to really collaborate on if they have 4 emails,
No.
but like, yeah, I doubt your kids have 4 emails.
They do. Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah. hmm
That's wild.
They've got one for Apple, like for their iPhones and iPads. They have one for like they have one for school. They have one for signing up for things. And then they have one to send spam stuff to.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Your kids are better organized than I am.
They're smart kids.
They are smart
Yeah,
kids.
They're a little bratty sometimes, but smart kids.
Aren't they all, though?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Not that
but,
bratty because you've never experienced the torn foot skin.
Yeah, apparently.
There we
Yeah.
go.
have
So
to teach them a
they're
lesson.
not stomping your feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, once they pull your foot skin once real good, they got to learn not to do that
Damn,
again.
I can just see it in the Payne household. Christmas morning, little Collin comes along, stepping on foot skin.
Notorious.
Hey,
All the
man.
presents go back.
It hurts. I don't
does
know.
hurt.
So, for context, this is an argument that I've had in my friend group for a while. But in my household, we all are aware that if you get your foot skin pulled
You're
by
gonna-
any sort of outside force,
You're crossing a line.
it hurts. It's painful.
Yeah.
And what I mean by your foot skin is,
I
let me
would be
clear.
careful about how you describe this
Right.
on the
Yeah,
podcast.
let me be clear because there's gonna be some weird people, and if this is if you just found your bread and butter me describing foot skin to you, then by all means enjoy. But
Oh,
what I mean by foot skin is specifically the skin on the top of your foot
being stepped on.
being stepped on and then pulled forward, like
Or backward.
or backward. But either way, forward typically hurts worse. But like any sort of force. Putting pressure on the top of your foot and then pulling the skin. It's akin to
An
what would-
Indian
An
burn.
Indian burn.
like a yeah, where you would do as kids, where you would run up and like grab your friend's arm and rub your hands back and forth.
twist.
It twists, yeah. It feels like that, but it's on the top of your foot.
Which is brutal.
My friend group, which Derek is a part of, has argued, not necessarily
Proudly.
argued, but they have never experienced this
They've
phenomenon.
never lived with you, obviously.
But there
And
has to be. Listeners
you are
out there, please chime
you are
in.
notorious for stepping on people's feet and pulling their foot skin. You
Hey.
started this.
Hey
whole
man,
thing.
and you know, there's some things about ourselves that we can't quite change, but I need
I feel like
everybody.
that would be one that you can.
yeah, I mean, you can control where your foot lands, Collin.
Man, I don't know.
But
Sometimes
for some reason,
I got big feet.
If big, yes.
Maybe I'm the missing link.
They
Maybe
just
we are.
flop.
Maybe
And-
we are aliens like Bigfoot, and we came from the big feet. And
Possible.
I am the unfortunate amalgamation of all of Bigfoot's worst traits: the stumbly big feet.
A hairless Bigfoot.
Yeah,
I'm the only one.
and
You guys found me.
emaciated.
Did you ever?
hairless
Did you ever? Did you ever lose Shannon
Semi-intelligent.
in the woods somewhere?
right? Oh,
Ooh.
please no.
Hey, for
no, wait a
years-
minute. Let's back up.
For years, Dad joked that he found me under a rock.
Oh,
So I remember
That's true.
that.
yeah,
that
that's
was
but
for
was it
years.
a joke?
Hmm.
Mm.
It's a sore subject in our family. I try not to talk about it.
The truth comes out. It took the podcast to get this out. I was actually found under a
Well, it
rock.
sounds like the truth has been coming out for a long time. You just thought it was a joke.
Mhm.
Man. One of life's cruelest jokes.
Was it a pile of rocks?
Ooh.
But he was
No,
found under.
no,
Was
one
it-
big one.
Where they
Just one big one.
And as he was carrying you out, he heard a grunt in the background.
with my baby. Man.
He said, "Here, feed this. Take care of
You
him."
gotta, yeah, hey, someone had to do it.
They get
You
rid of
let
the
it step
hairless
on your
ones.
foot skin.
Yeah,
Oh, you think that
I-
it's like they cast them out?
Right.
yeah.
They cast
Yep.
away the
You were
hairless
the
ones.
Wow.
outcast.
Right. It's like the
Damn.
runt of the litter or the hairless Bigfoot
Right.
or,
That's surprisingly harsh.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the
It's
girl
like-
in China.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
what I
same
was gonna say.
concept.
Yeah, it's really awful.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I literally was gonna say that too. Yeah, the girl in China. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Hey.
really bad.
That is really bad.
Luckily, the one-child policy has ended. So
Really?
yeah, that ended like in 2018 or something.
Oh wow.
But
Is
they
the
still strangle the girls, though. It's
just for
tradition.
fun. Yeah.
Strangle their feet at least.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Is the whole Hong Kong protest thing still happening?
probably. Actually, there's a whole segregation going on in China that's the exact same as like the World War II Nazi path. There's a religious and racial group in China that is being persecuted in the exact same way, and they're being gathered up and hooded and put on trains.
Damn.
Yeah, this is a thing that's happening, and it's not being talked about because China doesn't want anybody looking into their operation.
Huh. Well, how lighthearted and fun.
I know that.
Do you think Bigfoot has anything to do with that?
Probably not. I feel like Bigfoot is specifically North American.
Well,
And maybe walks across the Bering Strait to Russia.
But
I feel
what
like he
if-
would get along there.
bear with me for a second.
Mhm. Yeah.
What if the Illuminati is Bigfoot? He's everywhere. Because everywhere, I mean, like, what continent doesn't have heavily wooded areas?
Well,
Well, you have like the desert. You know what I mean?
And jungles, but like...
Right.
I mean, I would argue a jungle is a heavily wooded area.
No, I would too, but it's the climate.
Totally
I mean,
different
Yeah,
climate.
right.
But
It
what
would
if
be a
there's, like,
hairless
different-
Bigfoot
what
in
if-
the jungle.
yeah.
But what if there's, like, different species of Bigfoot and the
I'm
Illuminati
sure there
is
are.
Bigfoot?
Like,
Like
know,
Yeti
Yes.
in
Yeah. Oh,
Antarctica.
yeah,
Right.
Yetis.
white one.
Yeah.
Brown
Like the
one.
one that helped Santa in that Christmas movie.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Hairless ones like
I have
you.
no idea what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. I do know what you're
Rudolph?
talking about, yeah.
The
Yeah.
red-nosed reindeer?
Yeah, okay,
There
I
was a
do know what
Yeti
you
in
mean.
that movie.
I do know what you're talking about. Or
Classic.
Monsters, Inc.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a Yeti in that
Mhm.
one. That's a good
Yep.
movie, too.
Yep.
Dude, we should do, like, a Pixar movies tier list.
Okay, sure.
Just of all the
Yeah.
I personally, I mean, I don't know if it's just that I still love Pixar movies because Emily plays a lot of them all the time for the kids, but like
No, they're just
They're-
inherently good.
they're
Yeah.
wonderful.
Mhm.
They're wonderful. Earlier, just probably this will date the episode a little bit, but we're heading into Christmas time, as we're recording this, and earlier Emily was playing not the Nightmare Before Christmas, which is another banger, not a Pixar movie, but that movie slaps. But A Christmas Carol, the animated one with Jim Carrey.
Uh-huh.
You guys seen that?
Uh-huh.
That one's really, really good.
And he did a good job.
He did wonderful. I feel like
I
Jim
don't think I
Carrey.
saw that.
Yeah.
Really?
He's
I recommend
very
it.
animated naturally, so
It
to have
fits.
him be an animated character, it
Yeah.
was good.
I would like to see Jim Carrey play JFK. I think
he
that would be pretty
Ebenezer?
good.
I'd
Did he
like
play
to see
Ebenezer?
you get hit with a rock. Bigfoot.
Yeah, he was Scrooge. Jim Carrey was Scrooge, and it's great. It's
Yes.
honestly it's hilarious.
Coming for you.
Hey man, his head just did that. That's all
I'm
I'm
going
saying.
to tell you, you're about to get left where you were found under a rock.
You'll never
in
find
the
that rock
woods.
again. With all
Yeah.
the deforestation,
Oh, no.
it's gone.
I'm pretty
There's-
sure
there's
if
a
I look
mini
hard
mall.
enough, we'll find it.
I can find it.
You have
Yeah,
to leave
Dad
me in a
knows.
parking lot somewhere.
I'm pretty sure it's in Oregonia somewhere by a river.
Oh, those
Yeah.
woods are still there. I can attest to
see?
that.
Boom.
Uh-oh.
For sure.
You're doomed.
Well,
Yep.
next time you guys hear from
We
me,
were
I'll
just
be
there
in the woods.
squatching last weekend.
Yeah.
But speaking of squatching, I know we've mentioned it a couple times. Apparently, that is a thing some people are putting in their dating profiles, which is really
Ooh.
hilarious to me.
Ah.
That they go squatching and they're
Right.
looking
Oh.
for people to
My
go
name's
squatching with them,
Melanie.
and it sounds exceptionally dirty. And
I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
squatcher.
My name is
Yeah.
Melanie. I'm
Sounds-
25. I'm into crochet, boba tea, and squatching.
I'm a Libra.
You know?
Yeah.
Long walks on the beach,
I
long
enjoy
walks in
working
the
out.
woods,
Right.
Brunches.
Hunting
Squatching. Yeah.
setting up trail cams, dismounting trail cams,
Jackling.
reviewing
beef jerky.
footage.
that's really
Right.
specific for a dating profile.
That's what squatching
Yeah.
is. It's like 90% of it, and then like walking around and trying to find
Well, really,
another-
it's just hanging out in the woods and
Yeah.
hoping that you see something.
making
Yep, I'm
noises.
in if there's
hiking.
beer.
Do you ever make
Yes.
noises?
I'm in if there's beer.
Just
See?
the stick, like the knock,
Knock some sticks
tree
around.
knocking, or
You know what
whatever
you
they
should
call
do?
it.
That is
They
a, yeah,
make
that is a
noises.
thing.
You know what you
Yeah.
should do? You guys need to get a coconut and then go out there and do like the.
We're not in the jungle.
That's
Yeah,
horses.
Yeah.
You're
what
back
do
But
in
you-
the
it'll sound like
rainforest.
horses, and they'll
Yep.
be like, "Oh, a meal! Like,
Why-
there's a
No,
horse, a wild
no.
horse is here."
We don't
That's-
have wild horses here.
That's-
So, but I know, but like, can you imagine if you were a Bigfoot? Like, imagine you're a hungry Bigfoot. You haven't had wild horse
First of
in
all,
millennia.
They would be
Horses
like, what
don't-
the hell is that?
Yeah, and
they'd be like,
horses don't
delicious.
make that sound on dirt in the
Right.
woods.
You
Listen,
are way
you
off.
guys
That's a
are-
road.
I think you guys are
You watch
dissecting
too
this
much
way
Monty
too much.
Python.
Yeah.
I think that if you just went and got the coconut and did it anyway,
would
I
I
just
think
think
that
you
it
want
would
to
be
see
better.
us dance with a coconut and like do the little.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but maybe it would attract a Squatch. But we did have this conversation. So to bring it back to the Squatch thing, if he does exist, do you think that he subsists off meat? And
I
like,
think it's both.
you think that that's what we kind of came
Yeah.
to the agreement on?
I wouldn't necessarily say they hunt humans to like eat them, but I think they eat animals, other animals.
People
I
go
mean,
missing in
can you
national
blame
parks
them
all the
though?
time.
Like I again, no hate to. I don't want
See,
to.
he-
I don't want to get any hot water with all the vegans and what's the? I'm sorry. What's
Vegetarian?
the vegetarians? All the vegans and vegetarians out there. But can you blame them for eating meat? It's delicious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
No, you can't blame it.
Oh,
Meat is
okay. I
delicious.
was gonna
yes.
say.
Yeah.
Is this
I-
a
I
sore
do
subject
like-
you want to talk
No,
about?
I like cooked meat though, and I
Mhm.
don't think Bigfoots necessarily have that at the ready.
right. They're
But
not
then
like
again-
sauteing up some squirrel.
Can you
or-
imagine if they
But
were though?
beef tartare is
Right.
really popular, and that's just straight up raw beef.
What if you caught a Bigfoot
Really cold.
grilling up a delicious steak, and he's like,
I feel like if they were grilling,
We-
then
they'd
we
be-
would find them.
Right.
We
Right.
would
Like,
we
I'll
would
just-
smell
"Have
that.
this New York strip with me, bro." Ah.
I feel like they avoid fire.
Yeah.
Probably.
Typically.
That's
Because of the
probably
it's
smart.
a
I feel
danger
like
to their environment.
That's
so.
like all animals, right?
Right.
It's like their instinct.
Some
Right.
Frankenstein
Which
mentality.
is wild to me because like fire, it doesn't happen that often in nature,
because it's man-made.
right? But like it happens in nature, but like it is a man-made phenomenon. It's wild that their instinct, like it's a smart instinct, but they're like, oh, I have no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm.
To be
I
fair,
run away.
to be fair, imagine you're at the base of a cliff, right? And there's some flint shards
Bigfoot
around. No. Just
Fuck.
no one is around. There are some flint shards around and a bunch of dry brush. And then a piece of flint gets blown off the top of the cliff and falls right down onto one of the pieces of flint on the ground. Sparks up right into the brush. That is a completely natural fire.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Lightning.
Lightning in a
Yeah.
dry
Yeah.
That would be
forest.
far easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Imagine, if you will, that there was a series of pulley contraptions that had a big
No.
lighter, and
I refuse to imagine it.
Yeah.
it's what are those called? Where the you send like a ball down a track and it like hits a bunch of stuff and it makes other stuff happen. It's like a something
It's a
machine.
Rube Goldberg machine.
A Rube Goldberg
Mm.
machine, and it has a big lighter at the end, and you send it down
I
the
had to pull
track,
that from the depths of my mind.
and it's like bing bong, and it hits all the things, and then all of a sudden it lights at the end, and it's a fire. Imagine that. Natural fire.
I don't.
I don't.
I don't think
lost
that's-
me.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
I am
natural.
lost. I am gone. Yeah. I don't understand what you're saying.
So, just stay up to date on my what was it called? A Rube Goldberg machine?
Rube Goldberg
Rube
machine.
Goldberg
yeah.
machine. I'll be spending the next 9 years of my life putting together a machine solely
And-
for the purpose of lighting a big lighter.
And after he's spent 9 years putting it together, he's going to call it natural.
Yeah. A big lighter.
Yeah.
Natural.
It's 100% natural fire.
Oh.
You know, honestly, I just saw on the news that a meteorite came down out of the sky and landed on a house and caught it on fire.
Really?
I just
Wow.
saw it on the news this morning.
Where was that?
That's
Yeah, that's a rare occurrence because most things that
Very rare.
are coming in, they burn up in the atmosphere. So
right.
I actually saw a shooting star just the other day, which is pretty cool, out at
Ooh,
where I
damn.
fly after my night flights. And yeah, there was a shooting star go right across the sky. But that's crazy that one hit a house. Well, houses aren't that big in the
Mm-mm.
grand scheme of things.
Right.
Like, hit a
I-
house, burn it down. It's crazy.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I found it. I found what you were talking
Yeah.
about. This is on KCRA.com. Apparently it's a local California news station. So anything wrong from here, it's their fault, not mine. But the headline says, heard a big bang. Nevada County man wonders if meteorite destroyed his house. And there's a picture, and that house definitely got burned.
Well, there was like someone in their car filming what looked like a flaming ball coming out of the sky,
Yeah, there's
So
pictures
they
of
have
it.
video of it coming
Yeah,
out of the sky.
you can see it. Yeah.
How big was it? Was it big? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It must have been really big because it burned off a lot.
And like smash the house, right?
That's kind of sad. He said the area, he lives on a multi-generational cattle farm, and he's like a rancher. And he said that he had just fed his cows and sat down on the couch to listen to music for the evening when his house just fucking exploded.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
And
he was
also on
sitting
a
the
farm,
couch,
there's
and it
literally so much space and
Right.
it just
Right.
hits the house.
I would
Yeah.
take that personally. I'd be like, okay, yeah, and
Right?
this is-
Someone out there is after me.
Right.
Oh, that's sad. He had 2 dogs and he managed to save one, but one of them died in the fire.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
First dog in history killed by me.
Maybe. Yeah, probably. I would say so.
That's pretty nice.
Damn. It took about 4 hours to put the fire out. That is
Space
super
fire.
unfortunate for
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
It's sad, but I mean, as long as he had insurance, it's not going to be like totally unfortunate.
But does insurance
still.
cover meteorites?
Right.
Yeah, acts of God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
acts of God.
Mhm.
Well, and just fire in general, I guess. I mean, as long as you didn't
Yeah.
start the fire yourself. 'Cause it's like
Yeah.
fire and hazard insurance, so
We
it's certainly a
start
fire
the
and a hazard.
fire.
So he'll. I mean, multi-generation. I mean, it's something. It is a loss. It is sad, but he's not going to be like his life's not
family
screwed.
obviously pissed the universe off.
They forgot to sacrifice a cow.
Something.
But is it something that we need to be worried about? You know, are they just
Right.
going to start falling out of the sky? You know,
All over the place.
I mean, what if I'm sitting on my couch tonight listening to music?
Hey,
Or this
don't
podcast.
put that on.
Or, yeah.
But yeah,
I will
come
say,
on
if
now.
any of you are listening to this podcast and get hit by a meteor,
It wasn't our fault.
it wasn't my fault.
This isn't
but
legal advice.
That is, that's a hard, tough luck, dude.
Take caution. Use
Yeah.
caution when dealing with meteors.
Put up
Yeah.
meteor shields.
Watch the sky. Make sure to just peek. Just do a little peek tonight before you go to bed. Make sure there's no bright flashing lights that might hit your house and
Yeah.
cause it to
Also, to
engulf.
be fair, things enter our atmosphere all the time. But
Yeah.
like we said, most of it burns up.
Yeah.
And if you're just really unfortunate, then something
Right.
might come for you.
So, very unfortunate, and I do feel bad for that guy, and I hope that he gets like a GoFundMe or something set up, like some kind of, if I don't want to be the guy that's like go donate money, but if there's something for that dude, if he needs it, I really hope that you guys, like, if you're listening, at least look into that, because that's extremely unfortunate, and he did lose a dog, and that's pretty upsetting. But a little bit of common sense for you, because Dad has some personal experience with this. If you personally are ever lit on fire, do definitely stop, drop, and roll, because it does work. But
Perfect. Additionally, another bit of common sense, buy the insurance.
Mhm.
yeah, definitely buy
That's-
insurance.
Yeah.
That's as long as it's affordable and covers what you need to cover, get the insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's mandatory legally anyway, but
It is.
make sure you have it.
That isn't technically financial advice, but it is sound advice. I will say that.
That is not financial advice.
Le-
If you can afford it, buy it.
But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want to stay up to date with the podcast, I am on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all under the same name. You can find me at Uncommon Collin. That's Uncommon Collin. Keep up with whatever goofs and gaffs I post on there, and all the basic major updates with the podcast, like when episodes will be going up and everything. And if you're listening on YouTube, I appreciate it. We're also on Spotify. Feel free to give us a listen there and give me a rating. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait, are we going to sing?
Oh my God.
Get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on?
All right, sorry.
That's the outro.
Thank you guys for watching.